Hi guys, it's the Crochet Witch. How are you doing? So today, for Saturday, or for any day, whenever you may be watching this, I guess, I thought I would do a little review of a yarn that I started using recently. Like, I've had it for a bit. It's not brand new, but it's not easily accessible. And when I say easily accessible, I mean like as far as in the US, most people, not everybody, but most people have like a Walmart nearby or a Joann's or Michael's, something yarn selling. And or like in the Midwest we have Myers also, and Myers is where I got it. So like people with Myers, maybe you have it. Some of the bigger Joann's might stock it, but not all of them do. I find the main place to get this is like Joann's online, which, did I get mine from there originally? Originally I got mine from Joann's, I think, or Lion Brand, one or the other, because it's a Lion Brand yarn. But I get mine at Myers now, and not everybody has those. It's not what I would call readily accessible. So what I've started using recently is this lovely Mandela Roving. That's the newer label. So I just got this one from the local store. I don't know if they had an older label for this, honestly. This might have came out when, that's not important. Anyway, the color that I have is Hayloft. Yes, Hayloft. But there are, I believe, 5 other colors, and I will put pictures of them in. I have them, but I'm 99% certain that they went into a tote that got crammed in the back of the closet and needs to come out so I can get my yarn. But here's Hayloft, and if you know me, you know why I resonate to this particular one. But basically, Mandala Roving is just what it says. It's roving yarn. But it has, this one, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different color changes, because it goes from the white in the center to the light brown to the yellow to the orange to this really beautiful dark green. And it's like, these colors are very vintagey looking to me, so I definitely resonated towards this one, even though I did end up getting them all because I absolutely love roving yarn, so I knew I had a very high chance that I would love these. So let's talk about the details on these to start with, before we start crocheting. But Lion Brand Roving is 5.3 ounces, which is 150 grams, which is 415 yards, which is 380 meters. This is made in China. I know some people are not fans of the Chinese yarn, but it does not matter to me. It doesn't. This is 100% acrylic. They list it as a 3 light. And here against my finger is how big it is. I would agree that it's a 3. I don't think it's terribly light. If you went to mix it with a 3 light yarn, I mean, it's a 3 weight, and I think it would mix with a 3 weight yarn. I also think it would mix, I don't want to get too off topic, especially from the start, but I think it would mix with, if you're more familiar with the Ferris wheel yarn, which used to be more accessible because it used to be in Walmart and Joann's. The Ferris wheel yarn is listed as a medium 4 from Lion Brand. But let me get both of these together, and they are both like roving yarns, but here's the thickness of the roving and here's the thickness of the Ferris wheel. So I honestly feel like they're pretty similar. I would not have a problem mixing the two of these. I think I had mentioned in a podcast that actually, because if you are like a color controller and you don't mind cutting the yarn anyway, you might want one of these that has a certain solid color to go with some of the Ferris wheel, because the Ferris wheel is the mixture and the marl and the variegated-ish colors. So the Ferris wheels are not solid color, and roving is. But they are very similar. Starting off with the feel test that I'm sure everybody does as soon as they get the yarn. This is super, super, super soft. Like I said, it's 100% acrylic. There's no wool in it. It's very, very soft. I would have no issue making a hat out of this. I would have no issue making scarves and cowls, and I would have no issue wearing a sweater out of this. I love the feel of it. It's very, very soft. Like, if I were to rate it between 1 and 10, this softness is probably pretty high up there. It's probably like an 8. I think probably I would make my 10 like a latte cake just for comparisons. And this is not latte-ish, but it is very, very soft and very, very squishy. I could see this being one of my favorite yarns. But yeah, so that is like the breakdown of the details on it. Oh, also for anybody who knits, the recommended needle size on this is a 3.75 millimeter. And for a crochet hook, they recommend a size H, which is a 5 millimeter, which we will be using today. I have got my trusty Susan Bates ready and waiting. I have started a project with this, and I'm gonna show it to you so I can show you like the elephant in the room as far as I'm concerned with this yarn that I have found working with it. But here is something I started with it, which is just the lacy crochet shawl. And if you want to link to this, my last video, which was not quite a podcast, volume 1, has links to the tutorial online and the written pattern. But as you can see, and I'm not a person who minds color controlling or minds not color controlling. I don't mind that there's like patchy stuff there. However, have you noticed by me holding this up the amount of tails that I have for somebody who's not color controlling and has only worked off one cake? The reason for that is, as I discovered, and I will break this apart because actually as I'm about to make this shawl bigger, since I found out that this yarn does this, I'm just going to color control it a little bit anyway, even though that's not something I usually do. But can you see this right here? Can you see that kind of join where they literally just stuck it? They like stuck the yarn through this side of the roving and stuck the other color through the opposite color of roving. That, I don't even want to call it a knot, but that is in every single color change on every single ball that I have seen so far. I didn't notice it in the store. Had I seen like this sticking out, I may have been like, oh, that's probably just a one-time thing. They surely wouldn't do it with every color change. They did. If I have one critique of this yarn, it is Lion Brand. What are you thinking with that? Like, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like weaving in ends to the point that I will weave in ends. Like, had I not decided I was going to review this for you and show you guys all this, I would have already woven in all of these ends because I don't like to leave it for the end of a project. That makes me, like, all of the yarn ends make me so uninspired to to finish them. I do it, but I don't enjoy it. And it doesn't bother me as much to do it as I go. So honestly, before I even joined this green color that I have left from the other cake, as soon as I get done with this video, I'm probably going to start sewing in ends before I go to work, fully honestly. But that being said, and I'll show you a closer up of it and we'll crochet with it for a little bit, but that being said, I do feel like there's just, it's so soft, and there's not like a Karen Simply Soft sheen to it, but maybe more like almost the sheen that you would get on like an Unforgettable, Red Heart Unforgettable, if you're more familiar with that, which is also roving. But there's just an ever so slightly like soft sheen to it. There is, I don't know how well my camera is going to pick it up, but there is a halo coming off of it. It looks like there's more of one than my camera is showing, but it's a very, very slight halo that you do tend to get, I think, with more roving yarns. At least I have. And obviously other yarns that have like natural fibers are going to have some halo and stuff like that too. But But yeah, I will definitely be weaving these ends in, but the stitch definition and all I feel is really, really good. And like I said, there's like that ever so slight sheen and halo on it, which I do really like. It's very, the material so far is very squishy. Like these that I've worked up are like double, triple crochets, and then these are half double crochets. For the most part, that's all that makes up this entire shawl, actually. It's just a matter of following the pattern of wear. So it's a pretty easy pattern, honestly, once you dig into it. And I haven't watched the tutorial from Mikey, but I would imagine like hearing it, for anybody that can't read a pattern, you'll get it really easily. So, but yeah, it's very squishy, very soft. This will be a very warm, cuddly shawl when I'm done with it. But enough showing that off. Let's talk more about the yarn. I'm going to flip the camera around, and I'm going to pull out this ball, since I'm going to kind of color control on this project anyway, and show you, like, we're going to pull on the knot, and I'm going to show you how easily it pulls out. So if that ends up being like a break all thing for you, if it's something that bothers you, I will just show you so you can see it, and then we'll excuse me, we'll crochet with it a little bit also. While I'm flipping the camera around, I am going to try to remember to insert all the different colors that I screenshotted of this yarn for you, so that you can see what's available out there. So I will flip the camera around, put that yarn up, and I will be back in just a minute, guys. All right, so I am just going to dig in here and grab out this color if I can without making a giant mess. Which I don't, like I said, I do not color control, but as I understand, this is how you do it. You just dive right in there and grab it. See, guaranteed that it was gonna, I knew it was gonna be here. And now that you can see it up a little closer, hopefully. Focus. Focus. All right. That is, see how it's just the white is stuck into the brown is stuck into the white. That is what every single one is, and hopefully you can tell the amount of pressure that I put on this. This one's actually better than most of them, but like, so I didn't have to pull terribly hard. That is, that particular knot was better than honestly any other knot that I've come into from doing the other colors, but I definitely wouldn't trust that. I would not. My best advice if you are doing this is don't trust it, even if you're not color controlling, which I normally don't do. Once again, I would definitely not trust that knot. I would cut it and sew it in and all that annoying stuff. So if I had one bit of advice for you, Lion Brand, honestly, I would say don't do that. Just do a hard color switch in the same yarn. Like, I don't know how easy or hard that is, but I don't know. Anywho, so I do have my 5.0 hook, which is an H hook, which is what's recommended. For the shawl that I showed you guys, I used an I hook. I would feel comfortable also going up to a J hook with this, but just for the sake of it, I'm going to show you what the chains are, or what the chains look like with an H hook. So they look pretty good and pretty uniform, and except for where it's tied, which I know I keep mentioning, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like beat a dead horse or anything with that one. But except for where it's tied, I haven't come across any annoying problems so far, knock on wood, with the yarn itself being like, if you've seen my Moroccan Nights video review, you'll know that like every yarn had like so many tied spots. It was quite frustrating. I liked the Moroccan Nights, but it was quite frustrating. So yeah, there's the chains. And then I'm just gonna do some double crochets. See, like there's no, again, I've mentioned before that since I use Susan Bates, I honestly do feel like the Susan Bates head helps with splitting, at least for me. Maybe with different crochet styles that is not true, but I kind of feel like with my style that it is. Like I'm a bit awkward with the camera being here, but I'm sure you can already see that I hold my yarn and stuff a little bit differently than people, and my hook probably too. So yeah, but here's how the double crochets are working up on it, which nice. I really do think it has really nice stitch definition. I don't have any issue with the actual yarn aside from that joining that I keep mentioning. Excuse me, sorry about my voice. I just woke up and have dry throat going on here, but I wanted to get this out so you guys had, like I said, as I'm doing it right now, it's meant to be our Saturday afternoon chat about yarn, but you may see this whenever you happen to see it or whenever you're interested in Mandela roving yarn. Hopefully I do a little bit of good to show you the yarn. There's double crochets from the back, from the front. We can do what I'm doing in that shawl. I know I didn't chain enough to do this stitch. I was just trying to show it to you real quick, but I guess it'll be a leaning one. But I'm doing double trebles a lot in that shawl. And like you can just see, it looks really very nice. Like I like this yarn a lot. I do. Do another one here, and then I'll probably just flip the camera around because I think you get the gist of it. There's no like color changing to be seen. There's different colors, but they're all a hard color change, whether you decide to follow my advice with the knots or not. It's still just a hard color change from one color to the next, so there's not going to be any like integrated area. But yeah, like hopefully you can see what I'm talking about, but I really just, some yarns you would not get this much stitch definition in. I'm very happy with the yarn. It's really soft. It's really squishy. I wish you could feel it. It's not scratchy at all. And yeah, so I am going to flip the camera back around for like final thoughts on this and then send you on your merry way for the day. And hopefully you've enjoyed learning a little bit more about Mandela roving. So I'll be right back, guys. Okay, and we're back. So hopefully, like I said, that you got an idea with the stitch definition of this, with the way that it goes, like flows through the hook. Yeah, it's early for me. Sorry, guys. But yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, honestly, I would give Mandela roving like a 7, which is fairly high for me. Like I have my favorites. I'm about to do a favorites video, I think, just so you guys get an idea like of what kind of stuff I'm currently really digging and stuff. Hopefully you'll find that interesting. But I feel like the one drawback, which is the dreaded knotting, is a minor one. I do feel like a lot of people like to color control things anyway, so that might not be a real issue for you guys as much as it is for me. The other part of the crowd that is more like me and just doesn't like sewing in ends, I can't speak for you, but I feel like I can overlook that. Like I just do it as I go and it's not a big deal to me. And I really love the colors. By now you should have already seen the little slideshow of all the other colors. I feel like there's a good range of color. I'd be even happier if they put it, because some yarns, like I think there's like, I don't know, 10 date nights or like more than that. There is, what, 12, 9 or 10 or 12. There's a lot of Ferris wheel anyway. And then there's only like 6 of these. So like, they're really pretty, but Lion Brand, you should do more of these in more colors. I'm just saying. I really do like them. I rate these very high on the Crochet Witch likability scale. I should find a better name for that. Anyway, but here's another after I've destroyed this one and pulled the white out of the middle. Here's another just peek at it. But yeah, I hope that I've done some good and shown you a yarn that maybe you're not familiar with yet, and maybe given you some opinions one way or another if you were thinking about trying it. I do suggest it. I do really, really like it. Right now, as we speak, on the weekend of March 27th, 2021, I know when I was looking it up, Joann's has got it for $2 off, which makes it like, I think it's normally $7.99 there, and it's $5.99 now. I think at my local Meijer's, it's like either $7.99 or $8.99, which the extra dollar, but you do get sales at Meijer stores, and it's local, so you're not paying any shipping. You don't have to wait for a free shipping day just to get it, and it's usually pretty accessible. I do feel like it's a comparable price. I don't feel like it's a bad deal. It's obviously a better deal if you get it on sale. But yeah, so have you guys tried mandala roving? Do you like mandala roving? And what kind of projects have you done with it? Like, I'm doing this shawl right now, but I feel like a blanket would be wonderful. Something that can just like squish against you and keep you warm. Like a cowl would be a great idea for this one. It's 100% acrylic. Oh, I will also mention, if I can find it, that it is machine washable, if I'm reading my label right, because it actually doesn't say in words this time. Yes, it does. In a different spot it does. It is machine washable, and it's lay flat to dry, because that's what I was going to mention, was they do not suggest drying this, but you can wash it. I don't know. I may do a test swatch and toss it in the dryer before I do that with my shawl, because honestly, I do tend to just throw things in the dryer anyway. Like, don't listen to the Crochet Witch on that one probably, but yeah. Anyway, I hope that I have helped you guys out a little bit, like I said, and like, definitely let me know what kind of projects you've made with it if you have, or what you plan to make with it if you have plans for them. So I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, or whatever day you're seeing this, and I hope that it has been a decent review. And definitely, if you're not, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below. I do yarn reviews, I do some tutorials, I do yarn hauls, which I have coming in the mail for you guys right now. Well, for me also, but for you guys right now. We go yarn shopping, we have random chit chats, I do a podcast weekly to bi-weekly, depending on how much I've gotten done. Throw in a little extra here and there, little chit chats, and yeah, I think we have a really good group of people around, and I think it's a lot of fun. So if you decide to stay and sit for a spell, it would be wonderful. So I will talk to you guys later. I love you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out. Bye, guys.